Caitlin Clark, face of the Indiana Fever, has been dominating the league her rookie season ever since coming in. Her alleged rival, Angel Reese, has been her competition for the Rookie of the Year race. Reese has been running up the double-doubles, making records for herself. But after the media was basically saying Reese was the front runner for Rookie of the Year, it's safe to say that Caitlin Clark has woken up. She recently became the first WNBA rookie to record a triple-double, and as of this day, Caitlin Clark now holds the most assists in a game, making history. She's averaging 17 points per game, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, and is steadily improving. So, Mal, I know this is your favorite player, your person to build your team around in the WNBA. So I'm going to go ahead and start it off with you. This whole Rookie of the Year race, do you think it should be put to bed?
Yeah, like I said, I will say that Angel Reese with the double-doubles and her streak, she did make it very compelling. I did say I'm not somebody that's a big gloater, but I did think that the race was competitive, but I thought that Caitlin Clark was clearly in the lead based off of what she's done over the course of the season. I think that people got pretty excited with what Angel Reese had been doing. People wanted to talk about Caitlin Clark's early season struggles, but they don't want to take into account that Angel Reese also had early season struggles. I think for like the first month, the first 13 games, she was like shooting 35% from the field as a big, and she picked it up with her double-double streak. I think Angel Reese, I initially thought that she was getting these double-doubles organically, but just based off looking at some deeper film, her teammates were clearly getting out the way, giving her the Russell Westbrook treatment, allowing her to get those rebounds, and there was an evident game when her double streak had ended where she's clearly frustrated that she can't get that 10 points, but just showcasing her ego of wanting to continue the streak and falling into the sickness of stat padding. We know a lot of great players, all-time great players that have fallen into this disease of stat padding, and Angel Reese is now a victim. Caitlin Clark, you look at her stats like Jalen put out, 17 points a game, 6 rebounds, 8 assists. She's leading the WNBA in assists per game. And that's something that we haven't been taking into account. While Angel Reese had that double-double streak, Caitlin Clark didn't have a double-double streak as long as Angel Reese, but she did have a double-double streak. I think she had about 5 to 6 games consecutively with double-digit points and double-digit assists.
Not 13.
Okay. But yeah, she did have that. And I think that just the turnaround of the Indiana Fever, them having this record, it looks like they're going to be in the postseason. Just the fact that they had back-to-back #1 overall picks, they were terrible. The Chicago Scotty had a better team. We just have to be honest. I think Kennedy Carter, who has a face only a mother could love, I think she
trying to see if she got 10 toes.
I mean, she had 31 points last night. So they have a lot of talent on that team. Caitlin Clark, I'm a fan of her, not just of what she does on the court, but also what she's doing for this dying league. This league was dead. And yeah, they were making a little bit of progress, but really a lot of that progress was being made based off of the fact of what the NCAA women's basketball was doing. Not because of the WNBA, it was because of the attention that people like Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, Paige Buckers, Juju Watkins, that they were generating for women's basketball in general. That's why they were growing. So Caitlin Clark basically resurrected a dying franchise that is still going to lose $50 million in revenue. Like I told y'all, don't pay attention to the revenue, pay attention to the operating margins. They're going to be losing money because of the charter flights. If you look at attendance, Indiana Fever are leading in attendance. Every single away game that they have is that home teams, that's their highest attendance rate. It's been documented. People are watching the game because of Caitlin Clark. I don't know how many times I have to reiterate it. I know a lot of people want her to be overrated because of the attention that she's getting, but we have to be honest because we're going to be honest on this platform. She has been the best rookie over the course of the season. People like to say that Angel Reese has the defense. Angel Reese is by far a better defender, but like I said, we have to look at statistical output when it comes to these Rookie of the Year races. They average the same amount of steals. Caitlin Clark averages more blocks. Now, if we want to look at higher level analytics, we can do so, but then we also have to factor Caitlin Clark's offensive analytics as well, and it's not a conversation. You have people like Monica McNutt that wanted to base it off of record. Currently standing, the Indiana Fever have a better record than Chicago Sky. So Monica McNutt, you still want to make that argument? It's been a lot of disingenuous people on these media platforms.
She kissing a stray.
What she said was stupid. I mean, what do you mean? What do you mean you're gonna give the WNBA Rookie of the Year to Angel Reese based off of record? Are you dumb? They have the same damn record.
Carmelo deserved over Bron.
I like Monica McNutt, but she's just showing her bias. If you like Angel Reese and you think she should be the Rookie of the Year, then say you like her or have some credible stats to back your claim. She had none, and she made herself look foolish.
I didn't know her name was Monica McNutt. I thought niggas was making jokes that
that's actually her name.
That's crazy.
Monica McNutt. I know it is crazy. Monica McNutt is nuts. Is nuts. She doesn't know what she's talking about in terms of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. She cannot be objective, and that's what I'm seeing with this conversation. Most of these people that are talking about this Rookie of the Year debate on both sides are not being objective. Is Caitlin Clark the best player in the league? Absolutely not. Asia Wilson has that on lock. Is going to have that on lock for a few years. But is she the best rookie, which is what the conversation is about? Abso-fucking-lutely.
Speaking more on Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever, they haven't been to the playoffs since 2016. And Caitlin Clark is on her way to taking this team to the playoffs.
Wait, hold on. Can you say that again? Can you repeat that again?
The Indiana Fever, hasn't been to the playoffs since 2016.
Wow.
And Caitlin Clark, rookie, is on the way taking them to the playoffs.
Wow, that sounds like Larry Bird level impact. Remember Larry Bird? I think they won like 22 games, Boston Celtics, and then the next season they won 62 games. That's that level of impact.
So we're comparing a 40 game difference. Okay,
basically,
got you.
With back-to-back number one overall picks, basically that's the equivalent.
So, Caleb, do you think the WNBA doesn't want to market Caitlin Clark? And if so, why do you think that is?
Well, I think they want to market Caitlin Clark now. Can they do that effectively? No. I think it's kind of what's losing everybody. Like, Caitlin Clark is their biggest asset, whether we like to admit it or not, whether she's good or not. But she's good. She's very good. She's their biggest asset, so they need to market her. Honestly, I don't know what management's doing in WNBA. I think the WNBA is poorly ran.
Thank you, sir.
Poorly ran, and I think they'll always be poorly ran until something goes on. Now they had this change with these new cats, no pun intended. But but they had to change with these new cats, so that should be interesting. Now, it's all up to the WNBA. Honestly,
do you think there's something that the WNBA can do different when it comes to marketing not only Caitlin Clark but the league in general?
You have a lot of people. I've heard ex-players, current players, ex-coaches that are, anytime that they ask them about the Rookie of the Year race, everyone is in favor of Angel Reese. Now, are they doing that on their own accord? Possibly, potentially, but if you really believe that some person is Rookie of the Year, you don't have to bash the other. I'm seeing that a lot. If you're gonna say that Angel Reese is Rookie of the Year, state that. But what's up with the Caitlin Clark backlash? I think one thing that needs to happen is whoever is running the WNBA, maybe we need to take them to a class and actually teach them about how do you have a successful business, and to understand that if you have something that makes money, you continue to do it.
You ever seen The Wire and Stringer Bell? He's in those business.
Like, honestly, I feel like the WNBA could hire me for risk management, and I would go in and I would go through all of those damn departments with a fine-tooth comb and comb out all of the idiots that are running marketing, that are running finance, because they're not looking at their margins. They're not looking at the margins.
The margins are shit.
The margins are shit.
And their margins are always going to be shit until a big change comes up. So they probably do need to hire you, honestly. You probably know more about money than they will ever know.
Yes, because everybody keeps on talking about.
They've been losing money for since close to their inception?
Yes, because what happens is the NBA provides them stipends. The NBA provides them funds yearly, and that's how they're able to stay afloat. All of the WNBA players before that were saying that they want, I think I heard Kelsey Plum, and love Kelsey Plum, phenomenal player. She doesn't know anything about business or anything about funds. She was talking about they want the same revenue per share as the NBA players.
I heard a lot of WNBA players say that. It's
not about revenue per share. It's about earnings per share. It's about profit margins. If you're not generating any money, the NBA players, they're really overpaid. They really shouldn't be getting paid at all because you're not making any money. If you run a business, right, and you make $100,000, but you have expenses of $100,000. What does that mean? that means you break even. You make no money. You're not making any money. So if you're breaking even, or in this case, you're losing money, then why are you even getting paid? If we're really being honest, it just looks like the WNBA, they just have no intentions on making money. I just think that there's a clear route for them to really expand on what they have with Caitlin Clark. It's very, very simple, but I don't know if it's because of ego. I've heard of integrity of the game. I don't really know what the hell that means, but if I'm Caitlin Clark, I think Diana Taurasi got injured, and so they're saying that Caitlin Clark is potentially going to be on the Olympic team. If I'm Caitlin Clark, I'm not joining no damn Olympic team. You should have had me on there initially, because then, you know, the WNBA, they have a 3v3 team, right? She wasn't even on 3v3 team, but guess who was? Cameron Breen. And people were saying Caitlin Clark can't be on the Olympic team because she's a rookie. So she can't be on the 3v3 team?
I mean, she can be on it, but it depends who was like the other guards that's in front of her on that 3v3 team, because they probably got somebody that's more experienced.
You got a point there.
Because I mean, that also goes into the Team USA thing. When you look at the other guards that made it over Caitlin Clark, I mean, you can see why. Now, I'm not saying that Caitlin Clark shouldn't have made it. I'm just looking at, you know, the other guards in front of her, you can see why she didn't make it. Because, you know, you got like Jewel Lloyd, Kelsey Plum. Yeah, but I mean, you look at those names, I mean, there's nothing wrong with, you know, who made it over Caitlin Clark. I do think that she should have made it for money purposes, because if Caitlin Clark goes on Team USA, that's a lot more fans you see watching the Olympics and watching the WNBA, you know, the 5v5, the 3v3. But then when she isn't making it, I think you're losing a lot of fans and a lot of jersey sales and a lot of money.
I mean, they are losing a lot of bread, so, you know, they need to get that shit right if they want their league. Well, their league is still going to, you know, despite them losing all this damn money, you know, their league is still going to be profitable. They're like Disney at this point. You know, they're going to, they're going to shut out all this money, and then the product goes out. Nobody likes the product, but people have been bopping with it, so they dropped a couple blockbusters, and the movies don't do well financially, and then they still can get money shipped back. You know, they're like Disney, in my opinion, from that perspective. Like, you know, they're getting a lot of money from the NBA.
If we are going to be honest, the WNBA product, even with Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Plum and Asia Wilson and Angel Reese, it is still not a good product. It's still a lot of bad basketball.
I agree, but
it's definitely a lot of stuff missing.
They're getting there low key. But, you know, it's going to be slowly but surely. You know, they're really in that 1979-80 range, in my opinion. You know, they finally found, you know, and I don't want to be disrespectful or anything, they finally found their magic and bird to kind of latch onto. In my opinion, you got somebody that you can latch onto as an identity that the public knows. And, you know, people are aware of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. I don't care if you're casual or not. You know you know who those girls are. If I'm the WNBA, I'm latching onto them. I'm latching onto the girls. You're gonna get, you know, talent, you know, from Juju Watkins when she comes, Paige Buckner's, like, you know, you can get talent from all those people. You know, they'll come down the line, but you gotta start with the initial two. You know, monetarily, they're not in a good situation at all. I don't know when they're ever gonna be in a good situation, when they're gonna start making bread, because they're losing money year after year after year. Like, it's ridiculous at this point. But they finally found, you know, this season was definitely a success in my opinion.
Yeah, they definitely got their money makers with Clark and Reese, and then a couple of years now, then they'll have, you know, Paige Buchers, Juju Watkins to help bring more money in.
Angel Reese is a fine player. I think what you
mean by that?
She's a good player. She's a good player. I think her status, her fame comes from off of the court. She's not appealing to watch, dog, unless she's going
still bringing in money though.
How is she bringing in money? That's one thing I want y'all guys to do. Can y'all look at the actual attendance for each team? The Chicago Sky are like a middle of the pack team in attendance. They only gained attendance with that Caitlin Clark game. They're average.
I ain't gonna lie.
The highlights are not good.
I ain't gonna lie. Niggas is watching them highlights off Stream Eats.
But I think the problem is because she's a big. It's hard unless you're skilled like an Asia Wilson. It's gonna be hard for Angel Reese to really have a captivating audience because her style of play is not appealing to watch. She can
kind of selling on like Dennis Rodman.
And people don't want to watch that shit. Juju Watkins, when Juju Watkins gets into the league.
What's the NBA comp? Say.
I'm going to say D-Book. She kind of remind me of D-Book.
Okay. I thought you were going to say Kyrie Irving. I'm going to say I'm out.
Oh, no.
I literally walk out.
She's not just skilled, but she's also athletic. Like,
and she's like pretty big.
I've seen a lot of talent here. No disrespect. I've seen a lot of talent.
That's disrespect. That's disrespect.
No, we're talking about your play style. We're not talking about
Okay.
That's what my play style. Like, she plays like Tyler Hero.
Okay, I can see it. But she'll, you know what I'm saying, be better than Tyler Hero.
Maybe.
Anyways, though, to wrap this up, I mean, Caitlin Clark, she's continuing to do great things.
So inspirational.
She's inspirational, man. Hey, look at Clark. Look at Caitlin. She's going on to leading the Indiana Fever to the playoffs, and we'll definitely be looking forward to seeing her do more and more great things. The Rookie of the Year, she's right here, no doubt.